officially greet you because we're 5 minutes before showtime. And from my research, I'm told that it's a good policy to go on 5 or so minutes before to allow people time to tune in and get settled. So this is a track from Jaya Lakshmi called Bolo Sri Krishna. We will listen to that while we're waiting for the hour hand to click 1 o'clock. David, thanks for joining us. We'll get started in a couple of minutes here. Marsana, so many years. Krishna, Krishna, hey. We've already got a like from Boyd Christensen, and we haven't even started yet. Thanks, Boyd. The hour has ticked 1 o'clock, and that launches our first episode of the Krishna Lite show. I believe there are 3 levels of preaching. One is the high philosophy, connecting you with love of God, giving you more exposition, more information about the Supreme Personality of Godhead than is available from any other tradition. We do that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays in our Srimad Bhagavatam classes, which are at 7:30 a.m. also on Facebook Live. Then there's another level of preaching, I believe, which we call seeker-friendly, and that can apply to people who are just checking out Krishna consciousness for the first time. It can be Krishna devotees, maybe even long-standing devotees, who, after practicing for a number of years, feel the need for maybe some connections to earth again, some mileposts, to see not only how they're progressing in love of God, which is the most sublime, the most ethereal, but also, is Krishna consciousness making them better husbands? Is it making them better fathers? Is it making them better co-workers? Is it making them better teachers? And I think there's a class of devotees who after some time kind of feel like they need some landmarks, they need some guideposts, they need some ticks on the wall so that they can look back and say, hey, I'm a better person this year than I was last year. I'm better at controlling my anger. I'm better at expressing love to my family members. So those are what we call the seeker-friendly classes. And as you might expect, we bring those out for our open houses. In Utah, 5 o'clock on Sundays in the afternoon, p.m., and Saturday night, 7 p.m. in Salt Lake City are our open houses, our seeker-friendly services. Great window if you're just going to check out the Hare Krishnas without any commitment. Both temples are in lockdown right now, and so you won't be able to physically visit. But those classes go online at 7 o'clock on Saturday night, as well as 5:30 on Sunday evening. So you're welcome to access those seeker-friendly talks at those times, also on Facebook Live. Now, I felt a need, or I have a personal need, for another category. And that's why I started the Festival of Colors a number of years ago. So I felt like there were certain stereotypes of Krishna consciousness and Krishna conscious philosophy, which I would like to address and to burst those bubbles. So when we go out in the Festival of Colors, we present a different level of preaching. We call it gateway or groundbreaking. We present dance and culture. We present Bollywood, Bhangra with Krishna conscious overtones. We bring in artists that are not in the center of ISKCON, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, who can give kirtan or who are good musicians, talented in other respects, can get people dancing and get them involved in the process of kirtan. So this is kind of gateway. It's not even on the level of seeker-friendly. It's certainly not high philosophy, but it's just Krishnas coming out, letting their hair down and having fun. So I wanted to add this aspect also. As I said, we have the seeker-friendly classes on Facebook Online, Saturdays, 7 o'clock, Sundays at 5:30. We have the high philosophy Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. But this is a show that we're going to start. We're going to try and have it every weekly, called Krishna Lite. Now, what are the components of the Krishna Lite show? Well, rap music. I'm going to bring out 3 or 4 rap songs that I've been working on, memorizing. Some of them are original material. Some of them are hybrids from Kalakanta's book, The Rap of God, and some of them are outright MC Yogi and other artists, and some of them are from God-conscious people like Alexander Pope and William Blake, William Cowper, who lived hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And they actually wrote music which is adaptable to rap, and it's all in the public domain as well. So that's the nature of this show. And then I don't have enough rap material, obviously, to fill up an hour every Sunday. That would be maybe 3 or 4 segments of 5 minutes each. What am I going to put in the middle of there that would be interesting and compelling? I'm sure that a lot of you would like to know how Caru and how Vaibhavi came to Krishna consciousness, more personal details. And for most devotees, they would tell their story in 20 minutes or so, and that would be it. It would only take up 1 episode or 1 segment. But we have this book. It's written by Korma Das of Australia. It looks like it's well over 600 pages. It's called The Great Transcendental Adventure, subtitled Pastimes of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in New Zealand and Australia. Now, my wife and I were traveling around the world prior to becoming devotees. We'd been to India. I spent a year in a kibbutz in Israel, lived in the Canary Islands, spent 6 months in France, traveled overland. I'd been to India, spent a month in Thailand and Singapore, spent some time in Indonesia, Bali. Finally came to Australia in 1970 And I just came to find work because I needed to top up the funds so that then I could go to someplace really interesting, really exotic again. Well, you can imagine my surprise when I met Upendra Das, who was one of 2 missionaries that Prabhupada sent from America to Australia, and they themselves had arrived just a month earlier. Anyway, I remained in Australia for 5 years and helped everything get off the ground there before finally returning to America in 1975. But in answer to the question how I came to Krishna consciousness, here is a 600-page book. It's very well written, excellent reading, excellent listening matter, and it's out of print. So I doubt that any of you have a copy of this or even have the information. But this is the story, not only of how Vaibhavi and I came to Krishna consciousness, but of how Krishna consciousness got started in an entire continent. And we were there the whole time. And so we're woven throughout the entire threads of the story. And so when I'm not rapping or otherwise reminiscing, we're just going to share with you some of the information from this book. Serendipity, huh? It should be reprinted because it's really, really an excellent book. Now, if you're a really conservative, hardcore Krishna, you probably shouldn't listen to the next segment. Go pick up a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam Krishna book, pick up your japa beads, because we're going to do something light, Krishna, light. And what I had intended on doing, because we're starting a series, we're starting this show, was to invoke the demigod who is in charge of beginnings. And as you probably know, his name is Ganesh. MC Yogi wrote a song about him called Ganesh is Fresh from an album of the same name. And at the color festivals that we do in 3 different states, we have these big feather flags. They're 15 feet tall. And some of them are just generic, like color, music, culture. And some of them, about half of them, are different divinities. Krishna, Rama, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have a big 15-foot high flag of Ganesh, another one of Hanuman, and so on and so forth. If I ever find a way to share this screen and split it, I'll show you more images as time goes on. Oh, which brings me up to the point. Some people might ask why I'm not using Zoom, because it's more interactive. Don't like the sound on Zoom. The sound coming through my phone and Facebook Live is much better quality. If Zoom sound ever gets improved, yes, it would be great to do Zoom. And you can also put Zoom on Facebook Live too. So you get not only the back and forth, the Q&A that Zoom facilitates, you can also bring in other artists to perform on Zoom in different windows from all over the world, all of which is great. I just don't like the sound right now. So we're going to go Facebook Live. If you have comments, I can't really do what I'm doing and read comments and answer at the same time. But go ahead and ask questions if you have them, and maybe next session I'll bring them out and answer them. So anyway, to the chagrin of anybody who's really hardcore, here it goes. MC Yoga. It's called Ganesh is Fresh, to start off a new series and to start off the first show in this series. Okay. Yeah. I hope the sound's coming through okay, because I can't monitor it right now. Ganesh is so fresh, chilling on his throne, surrounded by incense, fruits, and gold, with heaps of sweets piled up in his bowl. He guards the gate and protects his fresh home. When you're blessed by Ganesh, you can conquer birth, disease, old age, and death, because he paves the path that leads to the soul, and he's known for removing all obstacles. Now, some may say it's mythological, illogical, even philosophical, but with Ganesh, anything's possible, because elephant power is unstoppable. He's a son of Shiva and Parvati, with an elephant's head and a big fat body. He uses a snake as a rope to hold up his pants. He rides on a mouse, and he loves to dance. He's a lord of creatures, possessed of divine features. He attracts the minds of genuine true seekers. He's a god of wisdom, beloved of children. known for protecting the homes that we live in. He writes the pages that the sages love to chant, dripping with knowledge like nectar, so we can comprehend the ways to transcend. Singing Jai to Ganesh, the yogi's best friend. We pray to Ganesh to remove the stress and to pave the way to a place that's blessed. He unties the knots that confine our thoughts. He breaks up the blocks. He dissolves the walls. He unlocks the door to our inner core. He picks us back up off the floor. He's a benevolent elephant, super intelligent. Dedicated to Ganesh, son of Parvati and Mahesh. Here's to Ganesh, because he's so fresh. Join me if you like, 3 times. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Om. In pairs. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Om. That was 1. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Om. 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 High in the Himalayan peaks lived a goddess named Parvati. She was a wife of Lord Shiva, king of yogis and destroyer of demons. Now Shiva liked to do yoga deep in the forest, far away from the world and the things it lures. And when Shiva went away, Parvati stayed home, often feeling sad and alone. And one day she prayed and wished for a son that she could play with and have fun. The next moment, to her surprise, a beautiful boy lay right before her eyes. Parvati could hardly believe her joy. The demigods had given her a beautiful baby boy. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Om. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Om. Join me. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Om. 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 Fast forward a few years, Parvati wanted to take a bath. So she asked her teenage son to keep an eye out on the path. He stood at the door just like a guard and make sure that nobody would come into the yard. Now, wouldn't you know, it was at that moment that Shiva returned. Not realizing that his wife had given birth, he saw the boy and asked him to move. Not knowing his father, the boy refused. Now, Shiva's all truth, conscious, and bliss, but he's crazy when he's angry, so don't get him pissed. Feeling distant, dismissed, he started a rumble, an epic struggle in the jungle. And out of nowhere, his trident went chop. Cut the boy's head right off. When Parvati came outside, she saw that her boy had died. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Om. 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 I forget whether that's 2 or 3. Throw in an extra one. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha. The demigods quickly rushed to the scene as soon as they heard Parvati scream. She turned to her husband with tears in her eyes and painfully explained how the boy was her child. When Shiva realized the size of the mess, he became upset, depressed, and stressed. But that's when Lord Brahma came up with a plan. Let's find another head so the boy can live again. Shiva said, we'll take the first head that we find. We need to hurry because we're running out of time. In the jungle, they met an elephant, a wise old being who had attained enlightenment. He bowed to the gods and offered his head. They took the elephant's head back to where the teenage boy lay dead. Shiva put the big head on the young boy's body. Well, at first it looked kind of funny and maybe even ungodly. But Parvati said it fit like a glove. Surely a face that only a mother could love. When Shiva saw that his son was refreshed, he embraced him and he called him Ganesh. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Om. 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 Ganesh is so fresh, chilling on his throne, surrounded by incense, fruits, and gold. With heaps of sweets piled up in his bowl, he guards the gate and protects the threshold. When you're blessed by Ganesh, you can conquer birth, disease, old age, and death because he paves the path that leads to the soul. And he's known for removing all obstacles. Now, some may say it's mythological or illogical or philosophical. But with Ganesh, anything's possible. Why? Because elephant power is unstoppable. Son of Shiva Parvati with an elephant's head and a big fat body. He uses a snake as a rope to hold up his pants. He rides on a mouse, and he loves to dance. He's a learned creature, possesses divine features, attracts the minds of all genuine truth seekers. God of wisdom, beloved of children, known for protection, the homes that we live in. He writes the pages that the sages love to chant, dripping with knowledge like nectar, so we can comprehend the ways to transcend. Singing Jai to Ganesha, yogi's best friend. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Om. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Om. We pray to Ganesh to remove the stress and to pave the way to a place that's blessed. He unties the knots that confine our thoughts. He breaks up the walls. He breaks up the blocks. He dissolves the walls. He unlocks the door to our inner core. He picks us back up off the floor. He's a benevolent elephant, super intelligent, dedicated to Ganesh, son of Parvati and Mahesh. Here's the Ganesh, because he's so fresh. One last time. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Om. 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 So having done our duty with respect to Ganesh, we can well and truly now begin this show and this series as well. I envision it being about 45 minutes. We'll have 2 or 3 more rap songs punctuating the period. But in between, I thought I would tell you how I became a devotee, how I came to Krishna consciousness. And if you just joined us, I've got it in a 700-page book. This is the story of Krishna consciousness in Australia, written by Korma. It's out of print, so I doubt very much you have it or you've read it, or that even the material is available. So I'm just going to read excerpts from this, and Bhai Bobby is also going to be joining me to read one excerpt as well. This is our history. This is the first 5 years in Krishna consciousness. In fact, as a Prabhupada disciple, and there are fewer and fewer of us as time goes on, almost daily, our numbers dwindle. People ask me, tell your story. How did you come to Krishna consciousness? Before you die. That's the subtext. And oftentimes, if I know I'm going to be in a temple and I'm going to be asked this question, I'll go to the index of this book and look for Caru. I'm in there all over the place. And that will refresh my memory. Okay, so this is the thread that we're going to use to tie this show, called Krishna Lite, every Sunday at 1 o'clock together. And I think it's worth reading this foreword by Professor Madhya Bin de Cruz, visiting associate professor, faculty of language study, the National University of Malaysia. And he also taught at La Trobe University. This is the first, just hearing La Trobe University triggers a memory for me. I did the organization of all of Prabhupada's public speaking engagements when he visited Australia's first 2 times, I think, in 70, 71, and anyway, up till 75. And so amongst many engagements, I had gotten him a speaking gig at La Trobe University. They had allotted an auditorium. Devotees were down there on the stage, and the seats rose up, probably sit 400 or 500 people. And I was kind of surprised that it was packed. I should have been suspicious, but I just thought, wow, so many people coming here, Prabhupada. Turns out it was kind of a setup. There was this was in the 60s. There were Maoists in Australia, in America, white Maoists, anarchists, Students for Democratic Society. There were many, many quite radical groups. in those days, and they had a lot of influence, especially on college campuses, and apparently especially on Latrobe University campus. So here's a packed auditorium, and we didn't think anything about security, of course. We're just love and peace. The Prabhupada started lecturing, and you need a certain scintilla of sincerity to listen to high, elevated spiritual topics. So about 15 minutes into his talk, someone yelled out an imprecation. It was not nice. It was not nice. It was comparing the bald heads to some genitalia. And so all of a sudden we became aware, sitting on the stage, that, hey, maybe we do need some security here. So I remember myself and Buddhimanta, we walked up the aisle, because there was so many people we couldn't identify who'd shouted out. So we walked up the aisle to the entranceways, and we were on the right hand. There was an entranceway and stairs descending from the left and right. So we were up at the right, because that's where the shout had come from. And later on, it turned out it was a whole setup. They packed the audience with a whole bunch of really radical left-wing people, and they had actually planned to start a ruckus. They had actually planned to start a ruckus and then blame it on us, you know, the transplants from America, although I was the only American on a visa. The rest were all Australians. And we had quite a few devotees on stage, 30 or 40. Anyway, make a long story short, from where Buddhimanta and I were standing, the guy was right in the middle. It turned out he was an editor of a local left-wing newspaper, and so he pretty much was obliged to be the point man to keep up his reputation as a world-changing Australian version of Che Guevara. And I might add, before I was a devotee, I would not have been unsympathetic to their movement. I wouldn't have approved of their tactics, but I would not have been unsympathetic. In any case, we're standing there, me and he shouts out again something, you know, where does the money go, and do you live in a mansion, and some other expletives. So Buddhimanta and I, not realizing that the whole audience was like planted, not the whole audience, but 4 out of 5 were planted. If it was an audience of people who wanted to hear Prabhupada sincerely, probably been about 50 or 75 people. But as it was, there were 300 or 400. So that's how many were there to cause trouble. So Buddhimanta and I didn't want to have any violence or anything. So what we did was we wanted to move this fellow out of the auditorium, because we were still under the impression that most of the people in the audience were there to hear. And so we wanted to just remove the disturbance. And so we faced out, and I took one arm of the guy firmly, and Buddhimanta took the other arm, and we're just kind of moving him out. So we're facing one way, and we couldn't see what was happening behind us. And we're just, firmly, you know, we're moving the guy out the door into the lobby, and he's facing into the auditorium, and he's got his arms pinned, so he can't really defend himself. So Philip Scott, if you're out there, my apologies, but this is the way it happened. So we had one devotee named Sabhavi. He was quite a hothead. I love him. He's one of my very, very good friends. But everybody in Australia knows that Sabhavi is a hothead. So I didn't see it. I just heard about it later. Sabhavi comes off the stage, flying up the stairs, with his intentions telegraphed, you know, and his fist is cocked, and he's like throwing a punch from like 75 feet away. It's building momentum all the time, and you can imagine the guy sees it coming, but his arms are pinned. Me and Buddhimanta are facing the wrong way. We would have certainly stopped it or diverted him if we didn't know, but we're looking the other way. The guy is unable to defend himself. And Sabhavi is quite an athlete, a former champion surfer, and he darts up the stairs too quickly for anyone in the audience to tackle him. And in front of everybody, all these plants, all these pseudo-communists, they had handed to them on a plate exactly the kindling with which to start a near riot. Sabapati smacked the guy right in the face. I only heard about it later, but all I knew was I'm carrying his right arm. Buddhimanta is carrying his left arm, and we're pretty much out in the lobby by this time, or just crossing the threshold. And all I knew was that we were down on the hard floor with, it felt like 100 bodies on top of us, and kicking and punching and jabbing and everything. So it really sparked a riot. So at this point, there was no question of Prabhupada continuing. The devotees got him out the side door. We had a Volkswagen Combi van. And Prabhupada began to exit the university. We had our own van. We jumped in the van. We began to follow about 100 yards behind. And the students apparently, they had stashed cans of paint, rocks. They had all this planned in advance. They didn't have the, like I said, the match. But once that happened, once the Bhagavati punched the guy, then they had everything they needed. And it was all stashed away. And so students were running to intersect Prabhupada's van to throw paint on it and throw rocks at it. But Prabhupada had enough of a head start that they weren't really able to reach him. There was one bridge, and there were a bunch of students on the bridge with paint cans. And as Prabhupada's van went under the bridge, they dropped paint on this blue Volkswagen Combi van. Now we were behind, and there were 5 or 6 of us in the van, and we were not only behind Prabhupada, but we were, they were going to get to us. They were coming from the right side across the field with rocks and paint cans. Plus there was this bridge here. So what I did was, there just happened to be a bus, a big red bus, and I got on the other side of the bus, and I kept the bus between us and the people that were running across the fields with the paint cans and the rocks. And so in that way, by keeping that buffer between us, I was able to get off campus with only a few dabs of paint on the Volkswagen van. So anyway, we haven't even started reading this yet, and already you got a good story out of it. Just that Latrobe University kicked off a memory. So obviously as we go through this, certain words and phrases will spark memories. If you have comments or questions, go ahead and put them right there. So this is the foreword once again from a teacher at Latrobe University, originally from Malaysia. And he's talking about the author of this book, which is called The Great Transcendental Adventure. Kormadas was part of a wide circle of devotees who served Srila Prabhupada, our guru. He recalls speaking with Srila Prabhupada on only 3 occasions. At the first and second initiation ceremonies, and once when Korma sought guidance on a matter asking, where would I find the answer, and received the 3-word reply in the Bhagavad Gita. On a couple of occasions, Korma cooked for Srila Prabhupada. He enjoyed my puris and my eggplant sabji, Korma recalls. As well as being the author of this book, Korma is much more famous as a gourmet vegetarian cook. He appears on television shows worldwide. He travels throughout the world cooking for yoga and spiritual retreats. And he's also published 5 or 6 big, very, very popular cookbooks. Avatar Singh, Hari Bol, and happy birthday just a few days ago from Star of India, my good friend. So Krishna was a foot soldier in a career which began with cutting up vegetables in the kitchen, and which today sees him giving cooking lessons in Milan, Beijing, Warsaw, London, Delhi, and Jakarta, writing cookbooks and appearing on television in 46 countries in a 65-episode cooking series. In a sense, it is not out of character for Korma to embark on writing this commemorative volume of Srila Prabhupada's pastimes, a good deal of which has not been heard in conversation or published before. It was a huge task to undertake, and the effort has been worthwhile. From muted beginnings, Korma's spiritual endeavor is located in the heart of ISKCON's central mission, and today he has become a television personality. ISKCON stands for International Society for Krishna consciousness. This volume primarily offers a perspective of Srila Prabhupada's 6 visits to Australia between 1971 and 1976, and 3 to New Zealand. Korma reminds his readers that Srila Prabhupada's message to Australia was no different from the message he gave to the rest of the world. Prabhupada pointed a clear finger to what he called godlessness, which he encountered everywhere he went, and then pointed to the Bhagavad Gita as the source of the renewal. Several books have been published on the life of Srila Prabhupada. The 7-volume Prabhupada Lilamrita by Satsarup Das Goswami is a full and authorized biography. Satsarup was one of Srila Prabhupada's first disciples. This volume by Korma is similar to that of Satsarup's in its second-person narrative style, but whereas Satsarup briefly mentions Srila Prabhupada's Leela in Australia, Korma focuses exclusively on the Australian and New Zealand missions. Satsarup played a vital part in the ISKCON movement and indeed was a participant in many of the events he narrated. But although Korma did not have the same level of association with Srila Prabhupada, his heart was close to the founder. Hari Sori Das's, quote, A Transcendental Diary, is a personal diary by an English-born disciple who was also Prabhupada's personal secretary for a while. Korma's book is similar to Hari Sori's volume in that they both use a day-by-day format and offer a chronological account of Prabhupada's life. They are different, however, in that Hari Sori records Prabhupada's travels through many countries. Korma focuses primarily on Prabhupada's visits to Australia and New Zealand. As well, he outlines the wider sweeps of history, including Prabhupada's original directive to commence ISKCON's mission in Australia. Whereas Hari Sori wrote his diary as events unfolded, Korma went back and researched the whole history of the foundation of the movement in Australia. Korma worked on this book, The First Transcendental Adventure, for 5 years, between 1992 and 1995. He interviewed 180 disciples and well-wishers of His Divine Grace as background research. In his research, Korma stayed here in Spanish Fork for a couple of weeks as our guest. Every day we sat down with him and his tape recorder, and he extracted our memories from us and put them down on tape, and they appear in this book as well. In fact, Korma became so much a part of our family here in Spanish Fork during the 2 weeks he was here that when a Lama was born during his sojourn, we called the Lama Korma. My beautiful wife, Vaibhavi, is here. Why don't I just call her in? Many of you know her. And I'm pointing out where I'm reading here. We've got another 3 paragraphs in this introduction, and then I'm going to cue up the next rap song. So Vaibhavi, just want to go ahead and read from this point right here to the end of this introduction to Korma's book, Great Transcendental Adventure.
Okay, he traveled to England, the US, Indonesia, India, and Scandinavia, and throughout Australia to record 950 hours of interviews. He spoke to anyone who came forward and who had something to contribute, ranging from those who could recall only minor details to those disciples who formed the inner circle. Those were usually sannyasis, temple presidents, personal attendants, and secretaries of Srila Prabhupada during his visits to Australia and to New Zealand. What emerges in the end is a stimulating piece of oral history. Korma's book takes its place with yet another noteworthy volume written or being written on Srila Prabhupada, other noteworthy volumes. Notable amongst them is a recently published My Glorious Master by Burjan, which discusses the author's close dealings with Srila Prabhupada between 1969 and 1976. Other volumes include Srila Prabhupada and his disciples in Germany by Vedavyas, Prabhupada in Malaysia by Janananda, Journey to the Pacific Rim by Balimardan, Destination South Africa by Rid Hadas, and TKG's Diary by Tamal Krishna Goswami. Other titles published include Srila Prabhupada in France, Srila Prabhupada in South America, and Srila Prabhupada in Bombay. Kurma himself comes from a liberal Jewish home. His father was a real estate valuer and his mother a housewife. When as a young lad he told them he wanted to become a Hare Krishna, they were understandably shocked and sent him off to a psychiatrist who to Kurma appeared to be quite mad. Eventually his parents graciously allowed him to follow his heart. It is that heart which throbs as it narrates the stories of Srila Prabhupada Leela in Australia and New Zealand, and which gives his account its enchanting quality and staying power. So there's the introduction by Professor Madhya Vindacruz, Visiting Associate Professor, Faculty of Language Studies, National University of Malaysia.
Thank you, Vi.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
We'll have Vi back every week for reading an excerpt and reminiscing. And Vi, I told the story of the riot at La Trobe University already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Soon
we
as
were there.
As soon as I saw that this professor was a teacher at La Trobe University, I couldn't resist sharing that old memory, which involved Buddhimanta, who's passed away, and Sabapati, who we're in touch right now through Facebook. Sabapati visited Thailand recently to visit the Krishna temples in Thailand, and Gaur Mandala Bhumi, I think, who's been active in Thailand as well as Malaysia and Indonesia. And then the coronavirus hit, so he couldn't get out of Thailand. I think he's been stuck in Thailand for about 3 weeks or so. So if you're out there, Philip Scott Sabapati, please accept my respects and apologies for perhaps not showing you in the totally best light through my La Trobe University story. But anyway, we love you just the way you are, as does Krishna himself. All right, so of course, anybody with any familiarity whatsoever of the Krishna movement knows that a fundamental aspect of our teaching is that we're not these bodies. We're eternal spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. This is, Sanskrit term for this is Aham Brahmasmi. So this is a song that I wrote for the Festival of Colors. And as I get up on stage, I asked people to turn to each other and to look in each other's eyes. I'd say that if you have sunglasses, take them off. And if you blink or turn away, it's not a staring contest. But I just asked everyone to look into each other's eyes. And when you see the light in the eyes, raise your hand. So everybody raise their hand, and then I say, repeat after me. When I look into your eyes, I see a shining soul. When I look into your eyes, I see a spirit soul. I see a soul that's never born, spark that never dies, yearns to fly back home, back to the spiritual skies. From dust you come to, that's all I ask them to repeat. Then I say, well, can I take it from here? From dust you come, to dust you go, was not spoken of the soul. This body, like a set of clothes, wears out and gets disposed. Flame of light and love gives life to the machine, a candle never snuffed, subtle, sublime, unseen. For the soul there's no beginning, ending there's none, small in the atom, brighter than the sun. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The inner soul continues when the outer body ends. Like flame from wood, sparks ascending, transcending dark matter, invisible to the eye, blending with the sky. You cannot kill, nor can you die. You cannot burn, nor can you fry. The soul cannot be scorched by any blaze. No water can drown the spirit. No wind can make it fade. You cannot cut another, nor can you bleed. The soul is eternal, unborn, a seed, indivisible, indestructible, forever free from birth, death, old age, and disease. Yet howsoever turned or tossed, the soul can never itself exhaust. Seated in the heart, beating its drum, powering everyone, brighter than the sun, the soul's superior force lives on and runs its endless course in God's unlimited universe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As a cloud is seated on air, so spirit supports the flesh. Take away the living force, and it's just chemicals lying there. A corpse, naked and bare. Not a twitch or wiggle, not a subtle wink or giggle. Can't tickle it, puzzle it with a riddle. Deaf, blind, dumb, mute. Can't reward it, can't ignore it, can't restore it. Deader than a doornail, stiffer than a board. Only thing to return it, burn it, bury it. Earth to earth, dust to dust, ash to ashes. Infirm body versus immortal soul. Learn the difference, conquer ignorance, make a spiritual choice. Sing out, give voice, rejoice, make some noise for the spiritual force. I say Hari, you say Hari. Hari, Hari. I say Krishna, you say Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. I say Hari, you say Hari. Hari, Hari. I say Hari, you say Rama. Hari, Hari. I say Rama, you say Rama. Rama, Rama. I say Hari, you say Hari. Hari, Hari. All together now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When I look into your eyes, I see a shining soul. When I look into your eyes, I see a spirit soul. See a soul that's never born, a spark that never dies. Yearns to fly back home, back to the spiritual skies. From dust you come, to dust you go, was not spoken of the soul. This body, like a set of clothes, wears out and gets disposed. A flame of light and love gives life to the machine. Candle never snuffed, subtle, sublime, unseen. For the soul there's no beginning. Ending there's none. Smaller than the atom, brighter than the sun. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With me, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. The inner soul continues when the outer body ends, like flames from wood, sparks ascending, transcending dark matter, blending with the sky, invisible to the naked eye. You cannot kill, nor can you die. You cannot burn, nor can you fry. The soul cannot be scorched by any blaze. No water can drown the spirit. No wind can make it fade. You cannot cut another, nor can you bleed. The soul is eternal, invisible, a seed, indestructible, forever free from birth, death, old age, and disease. Yet howsoever turned or tossed, the soul can never itself exhaust. Seated in the heart, beating its drum, powering everyone brighter than the sun, the soul's superior force lives on and runs its endless course in God's unlimited universes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With me, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Rama, Hari Hari. As a cloud is seated on air, so spirit supports the flesh. Take away the living force, it's just chemicals there. The corpse, naked and bare. Not a twitch or wiggle, not a subtle wink or giggle. Can't tickle it or puzzle with a riddle. Deaf, blind, mute, dumb. Can't reward it, can't restore it, can't ignore it. Deader than a doornail, stiffer than a board. Only thing to return it, burn it, bury it. Earth to earth, dust to dust, ash to ashes. Infirm body versus immortal soul. Learn the difference, conquer ignorance, make a spiritual choice. Sing out, give voice, make some noise for the spiritual force. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once again, when I look into your eyes, I see a shining soul. When I look into your eyes, I see a spirit soul. See a soul that's never born, a spark that never dies. Yearns to fly back home, back to the spiritual skies. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Time flies when you're having fun. By the way, I noticed there's a reason I'm wearing this. If you're looking for a good, what do they call them, filter during the lockdown, these are our own, very own Color Festival, own buff. There's 17 different ways you can wear them, one of which is this way when you go to the grocery store. Just PayPal is $10, and we'll put one of these in the mail to you. We also have a handkerchief as well. As it says, Om Shanti. So if you want to not just go out during the lockdown, the coronavirus lockdown, but you want to make a statement, while you're doing it, just send us $6 plus postage, $7 per, what do they call it, bandana, per Om Shanti bandana, or $10, including postage, for each Om buff. That's why I'm wearing it. I'm advertising it. And if you go out in public with your newly purchased bandana or Om buff, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of comments. So you can be our sales representative, also take orders on behalf of the Krishna Temple, because like everybody else, we're kind of hurting for income right now. I saw that we've raised $56. It doesn't tell me right now who those people have donated, but Haribol. Yad karosi, yadish nasi, yajdahosi, dasi, yad yadabos. Whatever you do, whatever you offer, whatever sacrifices, do it as an offering to me. So we're very appreciative. And we're inspired also to continue these shows week after week by your financial donations as well. So the thread which goes through our show, and we're already only 10 minutes away. So actually, why don't we just take the last 10 minutes here for one more rap song, shall we? That would be just about all the time we have left, actually. So let me start this off. Of course, we're called the Hare Krishnas for the obvious reason that foundational practice is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Or as in Koki's case, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, same thing. Haribol. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a great apostle of love of God. He was a devotional incarnation of Krishna who appeared 500 years ago in Bengal. And he taught us how to become God conscious in this iron age of quarrel and hypocrisy. And pretty much his main practice was chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I wrote a rap version of those 8 verses. And again, if you're an ultra-conservative, hardcore Krishna, you might want to change channels right now. Catch up with us Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the Srimad Bhagavatam classes. I promise we won't disappoint you. But as I explained in the beginning of this show, this is Krishna Lite. This is a gateway show for people that know nothing about Krishna consciousness. They may have some stereotypes about Krishnas. If nothing else, we just want to show them that we know how to have a good time in a way that doesn't involve drugs or cigarettes or alcohol or depression or low self-esteem. So this is our most public face here to everybody. And in that spirit of giving everybody a foot in the door to Krishna consciousness, or sparking some sliver of interest in spiritual life, I have taken the 8 verses of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are called the Shiksha Astakam. Shiksha means instructive and Astaka means 8. And I have turned them into a contemporary rap version. After which I will say the 8 verses in the original Bengali, okay? And that'll pretty much it, because we've only got 8 minutes left in the show. We're going to keep these to 1 hour. But we will invite you to join us next Sunday at 1 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time for another episode of Krishna Lite and some more rap songs. Also, for High Philosophy, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 7:30 a.m., as well as seeker-friendly talks. This evening we'll have one at 7 o'clock. This evening's talk is called Standing Strong. And then tomorrow at 7:30 also. 5:30. 7 on Saturdays, 5:30. So I won't say anything more. I'll just sing this rap song. And then we'll close out with some music by, what's her name? I forget her name. I'll think of her name later. Okay, here we go. Lord Chaitanya's Shiksha Astakam. Lakshmi. Yeah, Lakshmi. You ready for this? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Chanting the holy names cleanses the heart, extinguishes the flames, breaks the chains, blesses the earth at large with moon-like rays, discharging waves of nectar our sense has been craving since ancient days. The holy names put all of their blessings to shame. Krishna, Govinda, chanted anywhere, everywhere. The mercy Shakti is fully there. Divine after, restore your mental software, zap the malware, restart your heart, tap the reservoir of loving care. No hard and fast rules, no lessons, no schools. The bliss of Bhakti rare, yet free for the taking. Only declare your heart is aching in divine love awakening. Night and day by constant recitation, chant the great mantra without hesitation. Free from temptation with the sensation of feeling yourself lower in the straw in the street, more towered than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige. Humility is the key to enjoy the vibration eternally. Wealth in the millions, beautiful women, the spell of fame, worldly acclaim, even liberation, hey, totally lame compared to the champagne chanting the holy name. Krishna, Govinda, son of Nanda, though you're the one, second to none, my shining sun, I'm heartbroken in the ocean of birth and death. It's not worth the commotion. Pull me out of this cruel blender, surrendered as an atom in the sweet splendor of your tender lotus feet. Lord, when will my eyes pour with tears of love like rain from the skies above? When will my voice choke up, invoking your name? When in transcendence will my bodily hairs stand on end? Though a moment appears like 12 years or more when you're not here, I have only to proclaim your name and I'm smiling again. Even if you restrain me roughly in your embrace or pain me by hiding your face, you remain my Lord. Unconditionally decline or gain, rain or shine, I am yours. You are mine. Hare Krishna, with me. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now the original Bengali. Cheto Darpanam Arjanam Babada Vagni Navapanam Sreya Kairava Chandika Vidharanam Vidyabarvu Jeevanam Anandam Budi Vardanam Pritipanam Purnamritasvaranam Sarvadmashnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahodani Jasarva Shakti Statapita Niyamitashmarinena Kala Tadishi Tabakrupa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdi Bamisham Ihajani Nanurvagadaham Trinadapi Sanichana Tarodapi Saishna Manina Manadana Kirtana Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamai Mama Janmani Shari Bhavatad Bhakti Rahita Kitwan Ainanat Nuja Kinkaram Patitam Mambishame Krapaya Tabapada Pankajastita de la Sarishan Vijantaya Nayanam Gadadashriya Diriya, Varanam Gadgadhriya, Malaka Nichitam Babukara, Tabana Maganin Bhavishati. Yugaitam Nameshana Chaksusa Paravisaitam Sanyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename. Aslishava Pararatam Pinashtumam Adarshanam Marmahatam Karotura, Yata Tata Viridatu Lambato, Matparanatas Tusavanapparaham. From the Bhagavad Gita, a few verses about chanting. Madjita Madgata Prana Bodhyantas Paraspara Katayantas Chamam Nitam Tushanti Char Manti Char Satadam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantas Dudavataha Namasyantas Chamam Nitam Tushanti Char Manti Char. Chanting the holy names cleanses the heart, extinguishes the flames, breaks the chains, blesses the earth at large. With moonlight rays discharging waves of nectar, our senses been craving since ancient days. The holy names put all their blessings to shame. Krishna Govinda chanted anywhere, everywhere. Their mercy Shakti is fully there. Divine app to destroy our mentals. Divine app to restore our mental software. Zap malware, restart our heart. Tap the reservoir of loving care. No hard and fast rules, no lessons, no school. The bliss of Bhakti rare yet free for the taking, only declare that your heart is aching and divine love awakens. Night and day by constant recitation, chant the great mantra without hesitation, free from temptation, with the sensation of feeling yourself lower in the straw in the street, more towering from the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige. Humility is the key to enjoy the vibration eternally. Krishna Govinda, son of Nanda, though you're the one second to none, my shining sun. I'm heartbroken in the ocean of birth and death. It's not worth the commotion. Pull me out of this cruel blender, surrendered as an atom in the sweet splendor of your tender lotus feet. Lord, when will my eyes pour with tears of love like rain from the skies above? When will my voice choke up invoking your name? When in transcendence will my bodily hairs stand on end? Though a moment appears like 12 years or more, I've only to chant your name. I'm feeling you again. Even if you restrain me, roughen your embrace, or pain me by hiding your face, you remain my Lord. Unconditionally, decline or gain, rain or shine, I am yours and you are mine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I don't know about you, but I've enjoyed our hour together and the opportunity to debut some of our rap songs and to read a bit of the background of how it is that Caru and Bhai Bobby became devotees. We'll be doing more of the same next Sunday at 1 o'clock. Hope that you'll join us. Thank you so much for your time, for your participation, and for those who donated something to help us out financially during this stretch of time where virtually nothing or very little is coming in. So this is a song by Caru from an album, Global Village. Finish out this episode of Krishna Lite. Go ahead and comment. We'll get to your comments next time.